Bitch, your phone ain't even on yet. You know what I mean? Bitch, you can't even call your mom and cry.
What's up, everybody? I'm Blessed and Free. Welcome back to another episode of DOC TV. So you guys might recognize this guest. He's been on the channel before. I'm going to link part one to that interview in the description of this interview. He's done a lot of time in the Texas prison system. He's got a lot of knowledge. He's got programs going on. We're going to get into all that. But what we're going to do today is pick up right where he left off on the part one interview. So for the people that didn't watch it, don't know who you are, man, why don't you go ahead and just introduce yourself? Just tell them your name and where you're from and who you are.
All right. Thank you, Josh. My name is Michael Ceballos. I'm from Texas. I did right at about 28 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Since being released in January, I'm an advocate and do a live broadcast show every night called Cell Life. And that's where we're at.
All right, man. Well, in the first interview, you just, you're basically still a kid, got sentenced to the, Texas Department of Corrections. So obviously that first bid came to an end. What happened in your life after you got released after that first time?
After the first time I was released, kind of gained some skills, I guess. Back then it was kind of, if you didn't go to the joint back then, I mean, you were, on the streets, you didn't really have much credibility.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So I would get out or I got out and continued in my drug dealing with the connections or whatever I created while I was incarcerated. And
so that was your hustle when you were on the street was selling dope and shit? Yeah,
okay. Hustling, trading, selling, anything. Really,
just a hustler.
yeah, on all levels. And I started my first legal business when I was, 17 years old. So I've been on both sides. I've had several, legal businesses in and out of prison.
But I remember, man, here when I first saw you back on Facebook, you brought your son on, I think, and Shayna interviewed him. And the one thing I remember him saying about you was he always knew how to come up, how to hustle. He always could build a business. So now you're saying that just made me think about what your son said. So that's instilled in you to like always be progressing in your life. Sure.
My son, that's a great compliment from my son because I don't get many.
Okay.
But I just spoke to him this morning. He's a good kid, man. He's a good man. I mean, he's a man now, you know what I'm saying? And so, but he's doing really well. I'm real proud of him. You just continued back then. You just came in and out. They had the Revolving Door era at that time in the early 1990s where you were doing 1 month for every year. So if you got a 25-year sentence, you were going to go do 25 months. You know what I'm saying? And get out. It's called the Revolving Door. They were building so many prisons here in Texas that they had a big boom and they had to, I don't know, well, they also had the war on drugs. George Bush Sr. was the czar at that time.
Yeah, that fucked it all up, bro. Really? Yeah. That's really when it took a shit.
Sure. So we went through that phase. And then we had Ann Richards here in Texas who was wanting to build rehab centers. But after she got booted, they all turned into prisons. During that time, when you got sentenced, you got big time for bullshit. So I got a 25-year sentence. I don't even think I stole anything. You know what I'm saying? What? I don't even think we got away with anything.
So the 25-year sentence came after you did your first bid, you got out and then caught the 25-year sentence?
Yes.
What was that for?
Burglary of a habitation. Burglary of a habitation with intent, with intent to attempt to steal or something like that. So I did. So I ended up doing like 32 months, got out, caught another technical violation, went back and did 12.
I mean, you went from doing little time to now 12 years, man. I mean, that's a long ass time to be in prison. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, no, it is.
So like, where were you at this point? Or I know in your first interview, you said when you were down over time, you started helping inmates, helping people how to read and do all that stuff. Was there ever a point where you were doing time where you were like, you had to have been a moment where you were just like, man, fuck the system, and like rebellious attitude where you just didn't give a fuck? Did you experience that?
Yeah, I think most of my time was like that.
Okay.
I've been a thorn in their side just as well as they've been mine. I mean, I've fought for my rights the whole time I've been incarcerated on any level. I mean, I was involved in the first air conditioning case here in Texas. You know what I'm saying? They actually won the lawsuit.
What, no AC in Texas? Is that what you were?
They didn't have any. Yeah, they didn't have any, and people were dying behind it.
Yeah, Florida still doesn't have it.
Yeah, so there's a case here in Texas that just went through about a year and a half ago.
Being that you've been in and out of the system, right? And you said your whole time you were kind of rebellious. There's some people, man, that, I've been in and out of jail and in and out of prison. And for a long time, bro, I would put all the blame like, oh, it's the judge. It's because I'm this. It's because I did this. But eventually you have to start taking some accountability on your end too, in order to stop doing it. So where was that point in your life? Was it when you were in prison, or was it when you were out of prison that you were like, maybe it wasn't that cop's an asshole? Because you figure out, I'm the problem. You know what I mean?
Sure. I think I've known, very early that it was no one else but myself. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've been my own worst enemy on several, on most of my, incarcerations. I think I've realized that and forgotten it several times, to be honest. I agree with
that 100%.
Some people say, oh, well, he'll never learn. Well, we learn differently, and we learn at different speeds than others. Some things are just harder to learn than others for some people. And this has been a very hard thing for me to navigate, is incarceration, because, I do not want to be there,
right.
For sure.
I agree 100%. I would say, man, every time I got arrested or got brought to jail, I was under the influence of some type of drug, man.
Sure.
Have I been arrested to where I was just like 100% focused, doing the right thing, and boom, all of a sudden a shithead cop came and arrested me.
Yeah.
So did you struggle with any of that type of stuff through your years?
I don't think I really did. I think I've really ran across some real good, cops and educators and,
no, I meant like the addiction part. Did you ever struggle with that as that being a result of you getting arrested?
Oh yeah. Everything that I've ever done has been behind my addictions, for sure. And that has definitely driven my, when I was selling dope, it drove that. It drove my, burglaries or whatever else I was doing at that time.
The reason I'm asking you that question, man, is because I believe out of my time in jail and in prison and who I've talked to and ran across, I believe like 90% of the people in prison are in there because they were under the influence and did something and then got arrested. Sure.
And then you can go even deeper than that. And about 75% of them have father issues, where the father wasn't present. There's just a lot of things that kind of snowball into these men that truly don't really know how to live, on the outside, because it's all given. It's all, there's no gray. It's just either I take or I give, and I'm not going to give.
Right. So let me get that.
Yeah.
So, man, out of your whole time doing time in the Texas Department of Corrections in Florida, it's really corrupt in our prison system as far as guards. And what kind of stuff did you see doing time in the Texas prison system that involved like corruption?
Yeah, well, everything that everybody knows about prison that's bad, I've pretty much seen it, and on the guards, as far as the corruption, I mean, murders to bones to, I've seen it on both sides too, though. We've done a lot of things inside of those, prisons as well. But as far as the corruption in the prison system, I mean, they're going to, especially here in Texas, I mean, it's a good old boy system. So they're going to they're going to sweep it as far underneath the rug as they possibly can. Whatever it is.
They'll fucking Houdini that shit and make it like it never happened.
Sure.
That's the same way Florida is, bro. Good old boy.
Absolutely. But one thing I want to say is that there has to come a time where we, as individuals, as men and women, take back our lives. And not allow the system to mistreat us by taking responsibility and actually changing our lives. I
agree with that. Yeah. How do we do that? Because some people are watching, man, and are struggling. And I struggle daily, bro, with just making correct life choices. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So how do we start to navigate the road to change, being in and out of prison and being in that life?
Well, now, I got great advice. I'm just not real good at it.
Yeah. I always said that, man. If I could take my own advice, shit, I'd be good.
Hell yeah. So, we definitely need to daily examine ourselves, figure out what it is we really want to accomplish with our lives. You know what I'm saying? It is very important for us in this space, ex-cons, formerly incarcerated, however they want to say it. But it's very important that we take the rest of our lives serious, man, and begin to live a life out here in the free world where we can help change the things from the outside in, and we need them from the inside out as well. It's got to be a joint thing, if we want change. And the change is not that these men are not guilty or these women are not guilty. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about just humane situations that are standard procedures that are already set. They've been set. Just follow the rules. Right. That's all.
For some people, that's hard, though.
Sure, but we want the system to follow the rules, just like they want us to follow the rules.
Right, like when a guard does some shit, immediately an inmate's like, I'm writing the fucking, I'm writing a capital and all this shit about it. So I know what you're saying. So, but for you, man, you've been in prison, out of prison. When you got a 20-year sentence, you said. So what's the hardest thing been for you each time you got out of prison, getting back into the real world, where you felt like as you were going through that, then boom, all of a sudden you made that decision and then it was over? Like what were the struggles that led you up to that bad decision?
Sure. And these are very common struggles for all of us, I'm sure. Just triggers, different things, women, any of those things can definitely be something that can, get me off track or unfocused. Basically, just I can relapse one time and I'm going to jail. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. I know exactly.
That's how lucky I am. Yeah, that's how lucky I am. So
you're allergic to it, bro. You break out in handcuffs.
I am big time. They can see me from a mile away.
Yeah.
So my thing is that I have to really just be vigilant over my freedom from now on, because I'm a magnet to, not that, and look, I've been guilty of everything I've ever been to prison for. So we're not talking about anything like that. We're talking about just, bad luck with the law, man. So I have to be very vigilant over my freedom, because anything, nowadays you catch up. Okay, I caught a misdemeanor that I hadn't even been to court for yet. And parole automatically put a blue warrant. I'm not guilty yet. Nothing. So those things are very important, that we try to change those things, because I just did 4 months in jail for something.
On the house.
Yeah, on the house. And I still have not even had a single court date for. And that's been almost a year ago. So, I'm real concerned with a lot of things that, how they're treating us even after we're released. When do we get to pay this shit down?
Yeah. When is it over?
Yeah. I got 32 years on a 25. How does that happen?
That's the thing with me, man. If you can go do a crime, and you get 3 years, you go to prison, you do the 3 years, you're out and it's over. That's how it should be. But nowadays you get 3 years, you go to prison, they let you out in 2 years. They put you on a year supervised release for the year you were supposed to do on the 3, right, in the streets. And then they put a list of shit that's 2 pages of all these hoops you got to jump through, knowing the whole time you're going to violate. And they know that because they make it that's designed for you to violate. And I don't care what anybody says. If they're saying it's not, that's because you've never been in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, the system is definitely designed to, to continue to house and, milk this cash cow that they have. I mean, here in Texas, we're this is an industry. We're not, they're warehousing us and using us as labor in order to get further ahead. And here, unfortunately, we're pushing a Republican agenda. So a lot of things I don't agree with. So we have people in office because of the way the whole system runs from the inside out that are in power and making even worse decisions for us, in the future. So that's where we really need to get a handle on this thing. We need to get together as ex-cons, formerly incarcerated people and our family members and build some type of voting block where we can, make differences, where we can use our numbers in order to change a law that is discriminatory, that is, that is keeping us in places where, it's time for us to leave. It's just unbelievable, some of the atrocities I've seen as far as, especially during COVID now. I mean,
the incarceration now is just at a whole nother level of fucked.
Yeah. Guys are getting major cases for not wearing their face mask, in a major case here.
So it's like that?
Yeah, bro. So a major case here in Texas can set you off.
Fuck?
If you don't wear your face mask, you can get an automatic year set off if you get a major case. That's
fucking crazy. So in prison, they tell everybody to wear a mask. If I go to the chow hall and I don't have my mask on, they can literally take a year of my fucking game time right off the top.
Absolutely.
Bro, I never have heard that, bro. I need to do an episode on that, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, there's definitely. I've been speaking to men. I just left jail, but I've been speaking to men that are in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, sometimes on a daily basis, and they're saying that they're enforcing and very big time enforcing, because you got these
guards. It's so fucked up, bro.
That are walking around and just, like a machine gun. As soon as they see you, anything, and you can't even move wrong and shit. And,
that's nuts, bro. I want everyone watching to let me know in the comments what you guys think about getting a year if you don't wear your fucking face mask. So anyways, but
I mean, they deemed, the mandates out here unconstitutional,
That is fucking nuts,
for mask
bro.
mandates, but they're getting years for that shit in there.
Let me ask you this, man. I ask a lot of my guests this question. So out of your whole time doing time in Texas prison, what would you say is the craziest thing that you saw? If you had to pick one, you know what I mean?
I would say a riot. A riot on the Dolph Briscoe unit in Dilley, Texas. And they had just opened that unit. We were some of the first inmates over there. And it was... it's closer to San Antonio, so there's a lot of Mexican mafia. You got a lot of orejones. And back then it was real bad blacks against Mexicans here in Texas. It just was. That's what time it was, on site almost. I mean, there's always tension. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And because they didn't integrate until 1992. So 1992, when they integrated, because we were black, Mexican, white in cells. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but they changed
same
all
race.
that in 1992.
So when you were in there, man, did you ever get clicked up or run with any organization?
I didn't run with. I ran with Houston, which was.
I think you said that. Yeah.
Yeah. It was before they had the Tonga Blast and all that stuff.
Right. So you were home team, but basically.
Sure.
Okay.
It was probably the craziest thing I've probably seen, just because it just got crazy. I mean, it was a full-fledged on the rec yard. You just had to really just pay attention to what was going on, man. It was dudes.
Yeah, it gets live, man. It get you don't know what's gonna happen. So I know that feeling, man. I've been in one.
Come from anywhere,
Yeah. So to somebody watching, man, like either a young kid or maybe someone's, boyfriend struggling, or just anybody, bro, that's kind of living like our life or going down that route, what would you say to somebody young, man, that's kind of fucking up right now and, doesn't want to end up on fucking DOC TV sharing their story?
Sure. I would say really, family to me has been everything. I never realized it before, but family is so important, so stay close to your family, know that know your worth. Know that you're way bigger and way better than incarceration. Incarceration is
a waste.
Yeah, it's just a waste of time. It's a waste of everything. It's a waste of taxpayers' money. It's a complete negative. You know, hopefully we can turn reentry and prison reform into a positive. But just, you know, stay true, you know, to the things that you truly know. And that's, you know, to do good, be kind, progress legally. Those are the real things. Those are the hard things to do in life. And those are the good things.
You have a thing. It's called Cell Life. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you got out of prison and you basically lived in a cell like you were in prison, but in the free world. And you vlogged your whole year of that experience, right?
Sure.
Okay. So what I want to do is have you on again, because I really think I want to talk about that. I've always known you and known what you were doing, but I never sat down with you, man, and just chopped it up and really found out exactly what that was like and what you learned from that. So I definitely want to bring you on again, and we can do that. But I appreciate you coming on today, man. Do you have any social media you want to give a shout out to the people if they want to come look you up and shit?
Sure. They can check us out on Facebook under Cell Life. And we do a show every night at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We also have we're just starting a YouTube channel. It's also called Cell Life, I believe. I'll get those things to you, Josh, today.
All right. Yeah. And I'll put those links in the description so that way they can just click it.
And we're on TikTok, Prison Cell Life on TikTok. We're revamping all those different social media platforms, and we'll be coming out with more professional, with just better stuff, better information.
I got you, bro. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Like I said, I'm going to put all those links in the description so that way you guys can find those links pretty easy. I appreciate all the support. I hope you guys like this type of content. I hope you guys are having a first new good year, man. That's what this is about, progressing in life. Happy New Year. Yeah, Happy New Year, man. If you're new and you're tuning in, this is the kind of stuff I talk about on this channel. So if you like this type of content, hit that subscribe button and turn your post notifications on. And with that, it's DOC TV, and I'm out.